Hi ho, hi ho. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people who got way too upset about the last season of Game of Thrones.
Hi ho, hi ho.
I know you're probably wondering right now, what in the world did I just click on? This is me entertaining myself. I have about an hour drive every day to work and back. Plus, on my free time, I like to ride on my bike. I ain't talking Schwinn. So, I spend a lot of time alone talking to myself. I thought I'd record it. I usually listen to audiobooks, but I like to share my wisdom. Yeah, right. Trust me, if you come here looking for wisdom, you are gonna be sorely disappointed. It is December 2nd, 2019. I cannot believe I'm fixing to say 2020 in just a month. But the reason I'm starting today, because today is my first day at a new job. I work in the hospital industry, and I was at a hospital for about 10 years, and well, to be honest, the hospital just started going downhill. There's no other way to say it. It honestly got dangerous, the easiest way to say it. I work in a department, and I was the head of a department, and I had to do reviews of things at night, or from the night shift, from the nurses. And I found out they were just lying about giving medication, doing patient care, just honestly clocking in and sleeping for 12 hours. When it was reported, the director of nursing did not care. It meant nothing to her. She was more upset that how dare I report one of her staff. Not the fact that, sick patients actually needed to be cared for. So I put in my notice on that job, and I went to work at a well-known DME company. Now, it's not home health. What it was durable medical equipment. They did not do home health. They delivered equipment, maintained equipment. Beds, walkers, ventilators, the part I did. So I did that for, let's see, just under 7 months. And at the end of, so holidays coming up. So I asked a friend of mine at another hospital, I said, hey, y'all got any PRN, which means as needed, positions available? He said, yes, we do. I said, get over here. So I drove by there and talked to him. He said, actually, I got something else I want you to do. I said, what's that? He said, we need somebody to run this and another one of our departments. I said, all right, I'll talk about it. Because I'm a big fan of, there's jobs I like, I've had that I like, but I will always talk to somebody, about another opportunity. It's just stupid not to. One comes up, I'll at least weigh the odds. So, I talked to him. Actually, I talked to the person that's in charge of, they made a good offer. Really shame, I actually liked the job, the DME job I had. I didn't really like the company, but I liked the office I was at. Every single person there, man. You know how you always have that one person that you go in, it's like, man, I hope I don't see so-and-so today. Yeah, that person wasn't there. It really kind of made me wonder if I was that person. But no. It's really good. But opportunity came up, and like I said, I didn't like the company itself. I enjoyed the people at that office, not the company. The company is based out of Florida, and they are a crap show. I was doing patient care. they're not patient. Technically, there are customers because we give them equipment, you know. But I went down to a seminar, I guess you'd call it. They had in that seminar there were, I think, a total of 15 people, and in those 15 there was the clinical manager, there was the area manager, there was the district manager, there was a corporate vice president, and then there was the chief operating officer, or the CEO, maybe CEO or COO of the entire company when there. So there were 5 layers of management. Out of 15 people, a third of them were management. And the entire theme of that entire meeting was how to increase sales. Now they said, I got in this business, they just flat out said, I got in this business to make money. If you ain't here to make money, you're in the wrong business. I came from patient care. I was there to actually treat patients in medical need. But they just flat out said, we're here to make money. And it's funny was, there's an episode of The Simpsons where back in the early days, the Itchy and Scratchy cartoon that Krusty the Clown shows, the popularity was waning on that cartoon, so they decided they needed to bring in a new character. So they bring in, and I just keep driving off the road, they bring in Poochie the dog. And it's funny, it's while they're trying to think of the dog and the name for the dog, they're in this board meeting with the writers, and they're like, and the non-writers keep saying, we need something proactive. Yes, complete paradigm. And finally one of the writers says, paradigm, proactive. Aren't these just buzzwords that stupid people say to make themselves seem more intelligent? I just kept flashing back because that the CEO said the word verbiage. Oh, those underlings could not wait to use verbiage in a sentence. Oh, it's all about the verbiage. Oh, that's right. The verbiage is so important, sir. Yes, the verbiage. We must focus on the verbiage. I mean, they did everything but just get down and lick his shoes. It was hilarious. And the room of corporate ladder climbers was hilarious. One guy literally started every sentence he said with, because there was the clinical manager, the area manager, and the district manager. So the district manager, every time he'd go to say something, he'd say, yes, I'm Matt's boss, and I would like, Matt being the area manager, he would just literally start everyone by saying, I'm this guy's boss. And I mean, he was like, yes, I'm Matt's boss, and I'd just like to say that verbiage is very important. We have to have the correct verbiage. And he would be like, yes, I'm... Oh, hold on. Alright. Oh, dang, I just almost ran a red light here getting sidetracked. I was watching the other side light, and it didn't change as fast as I thought it was going to. Yeah, I'm an idiot. But anyway, I thought about riding my motorcycle this morning. First day, show up all cool boss. But, like 1 degree Celsius. Hard to come off as ultra cool when you roll up dressed like an Eskimo. I need to get some, because it's so cold, every time the temperature, and 2 days ago it was almost 70 degrees. Not, obviously not centigrade, but Celsius, centigrade, are those interchangeable? I feel like they are. But anyway, anytime it has huge drops in temperature like that, I have one tire that needs to be readjusted, the air pressure. So I need to get some air, but see a air pump at this little station. And Casey's right there that you're looking at. It has one, but it's one of those pay ones, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, except the fact I don't have any cash on me because I haven't gone to the bank yet this morning. So, I was kind of hoping to find a free one. The way I used to drive the Mo job, there was a free one. What's funny was it was at a truck stop, a Love's truck stop, and it was funny. I pulled up there, and you'd be surprised, and it was down close to the very last pump, the furthest one from the store. Surprised the number of times I have pulled up there and there'd been a guy peeing there by his truck while he's fueling. Instead of, getting fuel and going to the bathroom, no. Pee right there in the parking lot. Speaking of peeing in parking lots, which I guess I was, the job I just left, it was in I say shopping center, but there was really no shopping. It was one of those strip mall type places. And it didn't run parallel with the road. It ran perpendicular to the road. So the last business was far from the road. And our office happened to be the last business that was far from the road. Now, in between the road and our office was a parole office, I guess it was. Basically, criminals on probation show up there, had to report, blah, blah, blah. And because that you had a lot of, let's just say, unsavory people, no place along there had a public restroom for them to use. So they would walk down to the end of the building and literally pee on the side of the building. And Lord, I wish I could say it was just peeing, but it wasn't. The number of times I would walk out there and weirdly enough and catch mostly women. Public urination. And how it finally kind of slowed down was they would call the parole office and tell them, this woman in a red shirt, black shorts down there peeing on the side of the building. And the parole office would bust them. Because here you're on probation or parole, I don't know what the difference is. And they would tell them, that's a crime. Public urination like that is a crime. And I don't know if they'd ever send them back to jail for it, but they put the fear in them. The word would get around. Those people would go, a month later, new group coming in, didn't get the memo. I'd walk out seeing somebody else. And like I said, I wish it was just peeing, but it so wasn't. What gets me was across the street was a fast food restaurant, a Burger King. And it just amazed me. Walking down to the end of the building wasn't really that much further than walking over to the Burger King. But I don't get people. There's another gas station. Oh, with a free air hose. I know I just got cash, but I really don't want to have to go in and break a 20 for a freaking $1 air hose. If I can just do it on here. So, unless you just want to watch this hairy biker looking dude walk around, I'm gonna pause it. Be right back. We are aired up and ready to go. Good Lord. I think I froze at least 2 fingers off. Of course, here I am whining in, northeast up there in New England. They're having big blizzards yesterday. Speaking of New England, we're dead in the middle. We're wrapping up the end of football season, and it was nice to watch the Patriots lose yesterday. Steelers, brother. Steelers for life. Man, having to blow on my fingers. Yeah, you got that first day of work, new job. It's not really anxiety, but you're just thinking, oh, I got to meet all these people, got to get all my stuff in order. Don't want to come off looking like a fool, really. But my friend that works there, I really wish I'd have checked the schedule to see if he's working today. I'm kind of hoping he is. But it's nice that I actually know what I'm walking into. Of course, I say that. Back at the hospital, the only time I've been in this hospital is literally when I went to apply, interview, and do my paperwork. So I've been there like 3 times. I've been in 2 rooms. The actual office, the department office, and the boardroom where I did my interview and did my paperwork. I've not actually even been in my office. So, gonna be interesting. As you can see, the sun's coming up early in the morning, so obviously I'm driving east. I worked, for years, I worked night shift out west, or west of where I live. So every night I would drive into work, the sun directly in my face, drive home with the rising sun directly in my face. So now on day shift I go east. So rising sun in my face, going to work, setting sun in my face, coming home. I'm an idiot. But it is what it is. Let's see, a little about myself, riding on my bike, when I do that, it'll be during the day. I'll point out some more stuff as we go along in this channel. And also a huge fan of just flat out traveling. And by traveling, it's funny, is I know a person in Canada, and they were talking about they were talking to an American up there, and they live like around Toronto, and they were saying that the American was going out around Vancouver, and they were talking about how they were going to be there, they were going to be there tomorrow or the next day or whatever it was, just a couple of days, if that. And they were laughing at them, saying, you don't realize how big the provinces of Canada are. Said it's going to take you a couple of weeks. And I don't think the Canadian understood Americans. Well, I'm going to say this. If you live in a big city, traveling 10 blocks is an ordeal. Out here in the country, driving 200 miles ain't nothing. I left Los Angeles. I was back here in Arkansas the next day. For my last vacation, I got up at 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning, drove to work for an hour, worked for 14 hours, drove an hour back home, picked up my daughter, drove from Arkansas to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, slept for about 5 hours, got up the next morning, went to a football game, turned around, drove back home. I love things like that. Cross-country driving, that's my jam. Back in February, I usually take some kind of road trip, some kind of trip around my birthday. So I left home. Pretty early in the morning, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I drove all the way through Arkansas, through Tennessee, through Virginia, messed around Washington, D.C. the next morning. Then drove through Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, went to Philadelphia, messed around it for a little bit. Drove all the way through Pennsylvania, which Pennsylvania's toll roads can kiss my entire butt. A little bit of West Virginia, all the way through Ohio, through a blizzard. I mean, we were doing 20 mile an hour at one point, and I was passing people at 20 mile an hour. Across Indiana, Illinois, halfway through Missouri, back through Arkansas, 48 hours with about 4 hours of sleep. You know, just saw a lot, had fun, loved that. So, I'm a big fan of driving. So my days off, usually, you know, family goes somewhere, even if it's just the closest big city we go to is 35 miles away. Well, I'll drive somewhere and on nice days, I'm on the bike, man. We live in the Arkansas River Valley, which means the Arkansas River goes through two separate mountain ranges. To the south of us is the Ouachita Mountains, and to the north of us, north of the river, has the Ozark Mountains, home of the actual term hillbillies, I believe, came from. The Beverly Hillbillies, the old TV show, they were from the Ozark Mountains. So, motorcycle-wise, lots of good riding around here. Well, first of all, you have Interstate 40 cut right through here. So if you're just on the highway, if you like just flat out just cover some miles, boom. We have a U.S. Highway 64 runs through, you know, parallel with the interstate for a lot of, if you want to see some of the towns, but still fairly flat road. Or if you want to go north and south, prepare to go through some hills and some curves. So motorcycle wise, great riding in this area. If you look up any best motorcycle roads in America, there's always three that are interchangeable. The Dragon's Tail, I believe, out in North Carolina. And I think it's the Twin Sisters or Three Sisters. I think Three Sisters, maybe. I believe in Texas. And the Pig Trail in Arkansas. Those three are always rated 1, 2, 3 in whatever order. They're always flopped around. And it takes me about 8 minutes to get to the start of the Pig Trail. So, one of the most famous motorcycle roads in this country is literally less than 10 minutes from my house. I've ridden a lot. It's a fun road. Funny though, it's actually not one of the best motorcycle roads in Arkansas. It's just one of the most famous. There's prettier roads with more vicious curves, I guess you could say. More challenging roads, more scenic roads. You know, but that's the most famous. So as we go along on this channel, you'll start seeing some of those. So have faith. Now let's see. I think that'll wrap up this little introduction, give you an idea. Basically, I just wanted a first day of work, get a video in, just kind of keep it going. Day one, episode one, whatever you want to call it. Just a little play-by-play. So, just the ramblings on the drive. little motorcycle ride, show you what's what. That is what hi-ho. Man, that's what the plan for hi-ho to be all about. Kind of playing it by ear. Alright, see, I need a good sign-off now. It's a good sign-off. Can't think of a good hi-ho sign-off. Alright, we'll just say don't take any apples from strangers. See you next time.
Hey, Peter Parker.